Cubelic in the morning. It is Friday, 7 a.m., January 16th, right here on Jocks. Glad you're with us. I haven't spent a lot of time on Alabama in the portal recently. We have talked to Auburn because of some of the confusion and questions that people had about players coming in from South Florida and their thoughts there. How were they going to fare in the SEC? And then was it too much? What it was going to do for the roster, the culture? We haven't really talked much about Alabama. Keon Sabb announces that he's going to be back on that Alabama roster, GMAC. When you look at what he adds, maybe what difference you feel like he can make, was this expected by you for Keon Sabb to be back in that Alabama secondary?
Yeah, it was. I wasn't a huge surprise for me. I think him alongside Bray Hubbard did a nice job this year. Plus, I look at Keon Sabb. I think he is a guy that could elevate up the draft boards if he has another productive year. I like his game. I don't know how you feel about him. I think he's a nice, versatile piece. He can play over the top. He can be a center fielder. He can play in the box. I think him and Bray Hubbard are going to be rock-solid pros. They're going to be great on special teams. But I don't know if either one is going to end up getting their name called in the top 25 of the NFL draft. I don't know if they're necessarily Mark Barron, but I really like them. You know what I mean? I really, really like them. I don't think they're Minkah Fitzpatrick, but I really like them. So I think, hey, another year in college, I think it's highly valuable because you're probably looking at a pretty young roster next year in a few different spots. So having those veterans back is significant.
And I don't think he's been healthy for a long enough stretch for us to really have a true appreciation for what he is or can be. He's been pretty dinged up multiple times. Now, listen, that in and of itself can work against you, and you can see that and say, okay, he's not going to be in there and be available long enough for us to feel super confident of what he is. But if he is available, and I think then you mentioned it too, you put him next to another safety that is used in pressure situations, can play near the line of scrimmage. The versatility between both on the field at the same time then becomes extremely valuable for Kane Wommack's defense. So I know a lot of these coaches we talk to every week, Greg, would love to have guys that can direct traffic on the back end. I'm hearing more and more coaches having harder times with the green dot of who that's going to be for them for different reasons, not always the same reason. I mean, we had a great conversation with Blake Baker at LSU this year, and Harold Perkins was his green dot. And green dot, if you don't know, is the guy that has the comm system in his helmet that they can speak to until the play clock hits 15 seconds. That was one where he was kind of up, he was back, he did different things, and he needed to just be in his ear to say, this is what I need you to do here. But I think we all just thought it was going to be the Mike linebacker forever. But I would say without a doubt, more players on the back end are taking that responsibility just so they have an understanding of this is where we need you, this is what we need you to do, and this is where we need you to go. So at least they know they have that secondary wrapped up before the ball is snapped. So having experience is just that much more important from a communication standpoint.
Well, I just think there's more communication in the secondary than there is at any other position, especially with the adjustments that you have to make to, say, bunches, or if for whatever reason they are, having a motion or going formation into the boundary and all the rules that come along with it. Hey, this number 2 motions and creates a bunch in the weak side. You got to have adjustments off that. With all due respect to the front and the linebackers, the secondary can set all those things just based on passing strength and things like that. There's a lot more going on in the secondary, I think, than there is in the first and second level, where you can kind of run a game or a stunt and you can stop the run with this. And that communication is pretty simple. You can get it from the sideline. Hey, we want to stop the inside run. We call that run shark signal. Boom. But the secondary, hey, we might convert from cover 2 to cover 3 or man to 2 and things like that. So I just think there's more to account for when you're in the back end. So it makes sense that the green dots are occasionally secondary players.
I wonder what the signal for shark would be from the sideline. That'd probably be a tough one to steal.
I got a couple ideas, in case they get a beat on it, you can go from Jaws to, the shark fin in case they get a beat on it. You wouldn't want them to figure that out too easily.
I don't think I need Connor Stallions to steal that signal. I think we'll probably get it figured out.
Whoa.
Just saying.
You don't need a database to figure that one out?
Yeah, I feel like I'll probably see that one going in. Got a pretty good idea how to relay that one over.
I feel good about you being able to diagnose that one.
Yeah, we'll get that one figured out. Popular sentiment yesterday around college football that got a lot of traction and a lot of noise was, you're not going to believe this, cheating.
Oh. No.
Yeah.
Again?
Stop.
Apparently everywhere. Still. Not even again. Just never stopped.
No.
Just Danny White, AD at Tennessee, says you won't believe what is still happening in the transfer portal. Still some backdoor deals that are taking place. Still some tampering. Quote, according to Adam Sparks, I know what others are doing. If we're going to have rules, then people need to follow them.
Haven't we learned that there are a lot of glass houses out there, though? Like, when it comes to this stuff, like, isn't it fully acknowledged that tampering goes on everywhere? And it's sometimes, like, what people consider tampering, is it even tampering in our eyes? Like, remember a couple years ago when Caden Proctor, one of the coaches at Iowa, texted him like, "Hey, hang in there, big guy. Like, tough day. He had like a hard game against South Florida." And they sent a text like, "Hey, hang in there, man." And that was like, quote, tampering. Is that really tampering? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy here, but I just feel like right now, yes, tampering is going to go on. I don't think it's always intentional, but I think it happens everywhere.
To me, that's kind of the old NASCAR from Days of Thunder, like rubbing is racing. Like, if you're in this game, you're probably tampering somehow, some way. Now, the new age tampering is agent finds out other places where a player could possibly go. He relays message to player. Player says, that's a lot more than I'm getting here. Goodbye. Or maybe if it's even between, hey, there's an SEC school in Texas that has a X amount offer for you. You hit the portal. I'm confident I can get it. Feel like you'd be in top 2 for playing time at that position. Just letting you know it's out there. Honestly, is it tampering?
Nah.
Most people on the flip side of that would say that's agent doing his job, letting you know what's available. So the gray area with tampering, I agree, has grown, and it's because of who we're allowing to be involved. But it took me to something else that I saw as to what might be happening or how it's happening, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this because we see all these guys that are going in. You and I have watched them all play or not play. You and I have talked to a lot of the coaches about them. And as we have stated on the show multiple times, for some reason, the portal is 2 things. 1, player goes in, mad at player, don't like player, player not good for us anyway, thank goodness he's leaving, unless it's Cam Coleman or Deuce Knight. Those are your exceptions to that rule. And then
program backbones.
Correct. If we are accepting said player out of the portal, game changer, program changer. One of the best available at that position.
Yes.
That's how it works.
Huge upgrade.
So this was the sentiment that I saw sort of yesterday from a different individual, and it was from Ryan Glasspiegel at ESPN, says basically a lot of players are being steered towards other schools, knowing good and well that they're not going to be able to get enough playing time there and that they're not going to be players that go out and are immediate impact players at said place. I feel like you could go a couple different ways with this, but I'm interested in your thoughts of if that is real in your mind, if that is something that you look at as problematic, and if it is, who is at fault?
Oh, goodness. I really don't know who's at fault there. I mean, my whole thing is this some level of morality here? Like, I know that sounds bad, and like we should all live like I am a God-fearing individual, like I am. But as I reading my chronological Bible reading, which I've been doing for a very long time, and going back and referencing things, and this morning I'm reading 1 Chronicles 1 and 2. Not the best chapters of the Bible. There's nothing in there that says anything about what you can and can't do when a guy enters the transfer portal. Like, I don't feel like there's this veil of morality. Like, to me, in order to keep up now, there has to be some semblance of tampering. intentional, unintentional, but it's purely having your ear to the ground. It's simple as that. I got to get better. My team needs to get better. I need to make sure I understand who's available, who might go in, who could go in. If there is a guy that can go in that can help me, is it beneficial for him to know that he could help me? Is that tampering? Like, to me, I just wonder, like, all these people are all mad about all these other things. Like, to me, you got to do what you got to do, or else guess what? I'm getting fired. And I don't want to get fired. So is it dog eat dog? Dang right. But guess what? There were a couple things I did on the playing field that were not necessarily on the up and up. If it gave me a slight advantage, I was going to do it. Like, it wasn't bad, but I would try to read signals. I would mess with guys. Is it illegal to look off a defender? No. Like, is it illegal to make a fake? Is it illegal to make a fake check at the line of scrimmage in order to deceive? Yes. Is that illegal? No. I guess I just wonder, like, is there really morality here, or is it all fair in love and war? Because to me, I kind of lean towards the latter.
To a certain extent, yes. My initial thought, though, came to more of a lazy take by agents, and or maybe closer to guaranteed money. Because let's use common sense here. If you're an agent and you have a player making $150,000 this year, and you can go get that player $225, $250, $275 for next season. You have multiple suitors for that, you can get it. Or you can allow your player to go to the draft, and he's not a bona fide first rounder. We know what can happen there.
Yes.
We know how that can go. And we have seen many times it doesn't go, one, as planned, two, in a positive direction for a lot of different reasons. Either what happens in the draft process, all you got to do is go to Indianapolis and your medicals get pulled, right? And we want to see more about that. Now that's a problem. So for me, I took it more as the agents are looking at this as like a lot of other contract negotiations we hear about. Let's go for the guaranteed money. We can get you $250 in college next year no matter what. Then maybe we even build our draft stock further, and it's less of a risk for us to come out and not be drafted or go in the 5th or 6th round.
Correct. But medical is something that becomes a huge issue.
Fair.
Like, think about guys, and I mean, you do run the risk of getting hurt. Now, our levels, and thanks to our friends at Andrew Sports Medicine, our ability to get guys back after catastrophic injury is remarkable. 20 years ago, Tua Tagovailoa has what happened to his hip, probably never playing again. Just reality. Like 20 years ago, when Drew Brees had his shoulder completely destroyed, probably not playing again if it happened in 1986. Like I feel like the ability to get guys back now is higher than ever before. We're seeing guys return from Achilles injuries that are 62-year-old golfers that are playing 4 months later. We're seeing double hip replacements, and guys are still playing the following year. Like it's insane what we've seen now in the medical field. So I think when evaluating the medical side of things, yes, is there a risk of getting hurt? Sure, but does it really impact your draft stock the way it once did? Probably not. So I agree with you. Like, take the bird in the hand. And frankly, college is just telling you right now, as someone that played multiple years in the NFL, has an NFL pension, hated every second of my experience in the NFL compared to my experience in college. Hated every second of it. You feel like a genuine piece of meat in the NFL. However, in college, it does feel like they care about you. Whether they do or not is beside the point, but it does feel like they do. So I do think that there is a certain value towards playing college football and the experience that you have. Even if it has changed, there is benefits in addition to the guaranteed money that you'll receive. There are also additional benefits to it. Because how many guys now playing in the UFL who are making $64,000 a year would love to go back to college and make $250? A ton, right? So yeah, I think there are benefits to staying in college now.
Yeah, there are a lot. And if you want to know if the numbers back that up, 15 hours ago, Ryan Roberts, who covers the NFL draft, tweeted out more proof of how the NIL landscape has shifted things. There are only 42 early entrants into the 2026 NFL draft. The ability for colleges to pay players has made it a lot more attractive to stick around. Now, that number would not stay accurate with the deadline coming last night. It would go up to, I believe, 62?
Still.
63 early entries Okay.
A couple years ago, it was like 400.
Well, I can give you numbers here. In 2021, there was 130 that declared early to go to the NFL draft. So we're not even halfway there to where we were just 5 years ago. And that gives you an idea of players can come back, make a lot more doing something and increase their draft stock still. So you make more money than maybe you would have, and you improve your chances of making more money in the long run. That's a very real thing for a lot of real players. Now, the flip side of that is, Greg, the guys who aren't staring down the barrel being drafted somewhat early are probably being steered to places that might not be the best fit, might not be the best situation, and might not even be taking anything from a positive standpoint into what they're going to be doing long term. It's just get the money now and go.
Yeah. There's a handful of those guys too, for sure. But I do think this year is a bit of a unique year because of how many of the contracts were front loaded and then how much money these schools have available now because of the rev share that is now piled on top. So I think this year is especially unique, but I think it will probably even out in the future. Like there's still game-changing money if you can become a first-round pick, but if you're not a first-round pick, it's like, why the heck would I go? Like I'm in great shape in college. I can be a really good college player and make really comfortable living, like really comfortable living. So as opposed to going and not having any guarantees at the next level, like, yeah, I'm good with the bird in the hand right now.
All right, so a couple of things happening right now in college football. Apparently, ADs in the SEC are saying that cheating is still rampant, that players that are being tampered with in the portal still happening on a very consistent basis. And then you got guys that are weighing their options of going to the NFL, going other places. What does that look like financially? We'll continue that conversation and look at some of the players from Auburn and Alabama that have come out of the portal that have landed on the Plains and on the capstone to see what they might be able to do to affect those teams this upcoming season. All that and more next right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you being with us. 7:20 Friday, January 16th, right here on Jocks. We mentioned Keon Sabb back at Alabama. He will bolster that secondary heading into next season. What do you feel has been a win through the portal for Alabama this offseason? What do you feel like is still a need for the Crimson Tide through the portal this offseason, G-Mac?
Well, I mean, I'm good with what happened at wide receiver. I think they saved some money. I don't feel like they lost. I feel like given what they would have had to spend on a certain individual, they were able to get a guy in Noah Rogers that to me is comparable with equivalent quarterback play. I think they're very comparable. You look at the remainder, I would have liked to have gotten a little older, frankly. It's looking like it's probably going to be a bit of a young roster, which I can live with. I think you can kind of mold those guys. And I like some of the pieces that they've brought in along the offensive line. I know you do too. The class is not a massive size. I like that they improved at kicker. But it's only 10 guys right now. Who knows where it'll ultimately end up. But what I'm encouraged by is that what people are losing sight of is that this is still very much a high school recruiting operation. People are forgetting this is a team that had a top 2, top 3, top 4 recruiting class for high school. And yeah, while I don't want to rely a ton on freshmen, look at some of the freshmen that played pivotal minutes last year. And how many guys played really well last year? I mean, London Simmons, Michael Carroll. We saw a decent amount of guys that were pretty good. That were pretty good and played at a pretty high level last season as true freshmen. Like, there were a handful of guys. So, yeah, there were a few guys that got away that I'm disappointed. Like Renaud, I was disappointed that he decided to leave. But it is what it is. But, man, I think there's true freshmen that could step up and play. Like, I think Jackson Lloyd's got a chance to be a good player. I think Dijon Lee was excellent last year. Michael Carroll, for a freshman, a lot of really good things. Caleb Edwards at tight end, a lot of really good things. Not necessarily guys that you want to completely hang your hat on right now. Lottie Brooks, true freshman, at times was the best player on the field offensively. Like, I think it's just going to have to be a pretty young roster, which is fine. It just, you might have some occasional growing pains and you might have some inconsistencies, but I'm optimistic about what they've done. I think everyone wants more in the portal, but then again, you don't want to cut off your nose to spite your face because it's still a high school program, high school recruiting program.
Yeah, first thing that popped into my mind when you were going through some of those players in, some of those players out, that you like in the future, that you think you have a positive future for Alabama, is they're going to have to step up and be relied upon. I mean, you mentioned Latsier Brooks, you mentioned Michael Carroll. Like, those aren't guys that are kind of going to go into this year, I don't feel like, in the developmental phase anymore. We need you ready now. You got it's time to go. And that's okay because it looks like they have a lot of potential. But it's just, you need to spend this offseason getting ready to be the guy at your position.
100%. And I think that's okay. Like, how often, if asked to do more, could Lottie Brooks have done more?
Absolutely.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and freshmen are not made the way they once were. Like, freshmen are not guys that are, like, coming in and, like, oh, man, we got to thrust them in. Like, these guys are showing up ready to play, hoping to play, wanting to play, and expecting to play. They're graduating early. They're going through spring ball. It's not like, oh, man, we have a need. Like, we better put a freshman in. Like, this is miserable. These guys now are coming in ready to roll. And at some positions, it's a harder transition. Like, I wouldn't want necessarily a left tackle coming in as a true freshman, but we've seen it before. I wouldn't want necessarily a quarterback coming in as a true freshman, but it does happen from time to time. I mean, Jalen Hurts had to play as a true freshman. It happens. So not ideal, but it can be done, and it can be overcome. And like I said, there were plenty of true freshmen last year that logged quality minutes. And it's kind of looking like that's what the team might look like next year. It's going to be a really, really young football team. But doesn't mean they can't play at a high level. Doesn't mean they can't be great. Who's Miami's best player outside of Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor?
You really have to ask that question?
Well, Malachi Toney, you know who it is. I'm outside of Maui Noah.
Disagree. There you go.
Who also, by the way, played as a true freshman.
He did. You're right. Yeah, came in and had to be relied upon. So go do your hit on Get Up, and we'll talk to you in a little while.
All right, I'll see you in a second.
Just ease the transition there. Don't try to make it a guessing game of when he's going to hop off and when he's going to hop back on. I am a little concerned about the exchange on the defensive line. I'll ask you this question, John, since you seem to be more of an expert on this than we are. McElroy just dropped I like that they have upgraded at kicker. Have they? Because what I need to know, and Lorcan Quinn, kicker from Marshall, listen, any of us can do our due diligence, not that I have, and go look at his stats from last year and say, whew, look at this guy coming in.
They don't have stars, so it's the only thing we can do, right?
Wait. But when it's a 4 or 5 star kicker, they do, and people get really excited.
Are you sure
about
that? I feel like that's an oxymoron.
Oh, it definitely is. He was 21 of 26 last year and 38 of 39 on extra points. Here's the real question, though, and what I want to know about Lorcan Quinn, new kicker coming in Alabama. Will he be holding his long snapper accountable? That's the only thing that I judge kickers at Alabama on these days. Because if not, we probably need to have another conversation. Accountability for the long snapper, specifically on television, for all of us to see. Otherwise, I don't need your updates on what Alabama has or has not done from a kicking situation. If you can give me that, we can have a conversation. If not, we're going to move on to the next position, which we would probably do anyway, because
would it surprise you?
We know. Like anyone knows. Who's hopping on our show to give us an expert opinion on Lorcan Quinn, good or bad fit at Alabama? And what makes a kicker a fit or not? Or what did we even call it? Fit? Good, bad, indifferent, maybe?
It's fit because it fits like a glove.
No.
Like a sock. That's what kickers do, right?
For the soccer shoe that they kick with, yes, but the regular cleats on the other foot. I don't.
Do you know Bama had 4 kickers last year?
Does that include walk-ons?
4 made a college point. At least 1.
How many made 1?
2.
It's like a non-con extra point late. I didn't even know we did that, by the way. All right, Joe, here's your shot. We're up by 63 against Chattanooga. Put it through.
Come on now. You know his name was Tucker.
I will say that I feel like that there are opportunities there that we don't give them. Go prove yourself, kid. What do you prove on an extra point, though? You can handle the nerves?
Well, it could either be 38 of 39 or 39 of 99, like someone.
Spread 59.5. You're up.
I don't know, man. We've seen what Azarenko did over in China.
Also see what the NCAA is trying to do to sports betting right now. Might not matter soon. All right, we'll continue that conversation. 800-239-9569. You want to talk transfer portal players coming in, out at Alabama. Auburn has more players coming in that we're going to discuss. We need to get to those. First, I'll tell you about Gusty Goulis and the Gusty Goulis Group. If you're looking for real estate in Central Alabama, you need to know this name, Gusty Goulis. It's easy. Serves more than 3,000 home buyers and sellers in the greater Birmingham area, including family members of mine. You can Google it. You'll see over 850 5-star Google reviews. How many people can say that in any line of work, in any business? You can trust Gusty's aggressive and proven selling system. It works specifically here in Central Alabama. Go to GustyGoulsGroup.com right now. Brokered by eXp Realty. Button at the top right of the page. Smash that. Very little information. They'll let you know what they think they can get for your home. GustyGoulsGroup.com. Call 205-542-1996 today and start packing. More on the portal. We get to the national championship game throughout the course of this show. A big weekend of NFL football as well that we need to discuss. All that and more next on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. 7:33. Greg doing television. He'll join us in a few more moments. Should be with us the rest of the show. Stanford Steve coming up at 9. Give us his early preview of the national championship game coming up Monday night. Ralph Russo will join us at 8 a.m. on the show as well to give us a historical perspective of maybe what this game would mean for either side. Obviously, the storylines all speak for themselves. Indiana hasn't been anywhere close to this. The run they've been on the last 2 years, incredible. Miami, back. I hate to do the whole Texas thing, but Mario's got this thing in a pretty good spot and doesn't look like they're going anywhere anytime soon. So what would it mean historically? And we'll talk to Ralph about a couple of those things at 8. 800-239-9569 if you want to get in. 800-239-WJOX. Paul in Birmingham would like to chime in. Welcome in, Paul.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good to hear from you. Regarding the kicker situation, so statistically, if you had 4 out of 7 of the top scoring athletes in college football, wouldn't you consider that pretty significant? Those all happen to be kickers, number one of which is Alabama's former kicker, Will Riker. And Cole, as a player, former player, I'm really curious. When you played, could you have caught a pass from your quarterback?
Yes.
Okay.
I could also throw farther than he could.
Could you? Yeah, there you go, man. So as an athlete there, how many kickers have you run into? And I'm curious, how many kickers have you run into that could not catch a pass from their quarterback?
Don't know. No one in their right mind would ever throw it to him.
That's a good point. How many coaches in their right mind would give a quarterback the opportunity to be the highest scorer on their team kicking field goals?
Don't know. How many kickers would you allow to block an edge rusher on 3rd and 10?
Hey, I wouldn't put any in, but the point being, I guess I'm getting at is, if we're going to be tough on kickers, and they happen to be the highest scoring players in the history of college football, isn't that a bit of an oxymoron when over 60% of those top 7 players were actual scorers? I just did the math. It was 57% of the points scored in the top 7 scorers in college football history were from kickers.
How many other players were responsible for them to having that opportunity to line up and get 1 point?
Oh, goodness. I don't doubt that one bit. But, how many games have been decided by 1 to 3 points?
I don't have the math on that.
Probably quite a I don't know either. But, I understand the point. This is why we call it a team game. And I think you cannot denigrate an offensive line. And we also cannot glorify a receiver and a quarterback in running back in those situations when a kicker is a lot of times a deciding factor in the highest scoring player in football. So if you would put your team out there and said, hey, we're not going to put a kicker in whatsoever, in no situation whatsoever because we don't have one, you've got to score all the points. How many games would be lost in that scenario?
I think the games would be impacted more on probably kickoffs and punts and not being able to flip the field. Field position would be a much bigger differential for you than actual made or missed field goals. That's just my opinion. And people don't like this because I've said before, no one play decides games. People hate that. They think I'm dumb for saying that.
It's true.
So I can't take away.
Yeah, absolutely right.
I can't go further with the kicks decided games. I understand that they swing a game one way or the other later than a lot of other plays. But I get your point, and I understand. I've always thought that the whole scoring thing in football and how we keep track of it is a little dumb. Like, quarterbacks don't get credit for throwing a touchdown pass when you're talking about scoring. Like, you have to actually get the ball into the end zone. What's more difficult, rushing or receiving? Let's just say scoring a touchdown, having the ball, possessing it, and going into the end zone, or making a field goal.
It depends on how far away from the end zone you are in either situation. Probably easier to score a touchdown from the 2-yard line than it is to score a 50-yard field goal.
Some people may argue that that's still not even accurate because You're probably going to have to run through somebody. Multiple people are going to have to be blocked. You're going to have a clean snap, clean handoff.
Are you not going to have multiple people block, have a clean snap, and a clean placement for a kicker
not only that, but you're going to have a perfect snap, and the laces are going to have to be facing the goalpost, or else your long snapper is going to get chewed out.
No, only if you're Alabama's kicker. That's the only scenario there.
No, you make good points, and I get it, and I understand it. We have fun with it. I understand the importance. I know the difficulty of it.
I love it, man. It's half the fun of it. When's the last time you tried to kick a field goal? I tried to do it a couple years ago. I couldn't have kicked an extra point. It was way more difficult than it looks like.
I'm not trying to brag, but I could hammer extra points all day. I kick field goals in my backyard almost daily because my 5-year-old wants to play football every day. Now, our goalpost is probably about 4 feet tall, probably 10 feet wide, and the football is much smaller.
That's regulation.
But I'll say this. I actually, when my 5-year-old makes me go for 1 or 2 and I choose to go for 1, I just spin the ball on the turf and kick it. I don't even need a holder. What do you think about that? Wonder if that would work if we just changed the long snap and said you have to spin it and kick it yourself.
Just do that.
Boy, playing on turf would become a lot more valuable. I think every team immediately goes to turf if that's the case. Do you agree though that the scoring thing in football is a little bit dumb?
Yeah, it feels weird, especially to. I understand that. I guess the kicker gets the point because they actually do that, but it does feel odd and off. But also,
here's the best part though of the discussion, John. Of your top 4 scorers in college football last year, number 1, running back Caleb Hawkins from North Texas. Number 2, Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame.
Makes sense.
Number 3, Lucas Carnero, kicker from Ole Miss. I think he got at least half of that against Georgia.
Right, yeah. Uh-huh.
And then number 4, Keon Lacey, running back, Ole Miss. Theory debunked.
So you're telling me like the U, running back is back.
Hell yeah, and kickers are out.
That's why you spent that much on it, because you're happy now.
Now, the next 3 would be kickers, and then you get Evan Dickens, running back at Liberty, would be next. And then the next 6 would be kickers. I need to know. So Ryan Sairi from USC is listed at 14th as a punter, but apparently knocked down some field goals as well. It's mostly kickers that are going to dominate that. But, I mean, like you're telling me that kickers are more responsible for points than quarterbacks. Never did people think the day would come that I was about to go to bat for quarterbacks to this level on this show, but here we are.
So we'll give the quarterback the win, but not the points when they throw the touchdown pass.
Unless it's a game-winning kick, and then the kicker gets credit for the win.
Okay, all right.
That is an excellent point because I've never heard a kicker discuss saying, well, he's 15-2 in his career. 7 of those games he didn't even have an attempt, but you know what? He won.
Yeah. Adam Vinatieri would have something to say about that, though. He'd be the greatest of all time, which, I mean, we already kind of look at him as the greatest of all time. But
I wonder, and I don't know the answer to this, who does have the most game-winning kicks all time? He obviously has the most big game-winning kicks all time. But, like, who, and how far in reverse on the clock are you credited with a game-winning kick?
Right. Like,
if you win 3-0, and you hit a field goal on the first possession of the game.
Is that a game-winning kick?
Because they will. If you ever read like recaps of games, they'll be like Joe Capoto knocked the game winner through with 8:22 left in the third.
Right.
17-14.
Like, no, there were no other possessions after that.
Not necessarily. You could then. How come the defense is not given credit for game-winning stops on the next 5 possessions?
I agree with that. I agree with you on that.
The scoring thing, I've never been okay with. I get it. I know that they put it through the uprights.
Right, yeah.
Right.
But you tell me, because the gentleman on the phone countered it with, depends on how far it is. What's more difficult, scoring a rushing touchdown or catching a touchdown pass or kicking a field goal?
Oh, my gosh.
Context, wide open, not going any further. Just what's more difficult?
It's the receiving.
I'll attempt to do this math during the break.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're
And
doing
you tell
arithmetic?
me what you think is more. Now, college, I think is. I'll be interested to see it. How many players made a field goal in college football last year versus how many rushed for a touchdown? Which do you think is more? Because you brought up Alabama actually having multiple players that made an extra point.
Right.
Maybe we should take extra points
Oh boy.
because you get a point for that.
Yeah.
It's in its name.
And if you have a really good quarterback that could at least be dangerous, why are we not letting him kick extra points? Just don't even mess with coming off the field. Just kick it.
Just kidding.
Wow.
Was
Of
that
all-
what
of
George
all the
Orlando
things-
back in the day? Isn't that what he used to do?
Of all the things for Cole to be behind, kicking, giving him points.
There are a lot of
that's-
there are a lot of kicker, punter, guard back in the day.
Just got done running the Bucks
Wing
lead
back,
17
kicker,
times.
linebacker. Which, listen, this was one of the things that we loved about the XFL when it was reintroduced. Didn't even have uprights.
Yeah.
Didn't even need them.
So you're telling me Jared Lorenzen was just born at the wrong time?
I give him I lean more the punting advantage there. But yes. Or why do we not let Sebastian Janikowski play fullback at times and just give it a go?
It'd have been intimidating with that cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Not intimidating. It wouldn't have been. No. All right, we'll do that math or at least attempt it during the break. More right after this on Jocks. I don't think this math is going to be accurate. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 7:48, Friday, January 16th. The NCAA website for statistics is the only place I go. Like, I go to CFBstats.com a lot. The numbers don't go far enough to even get a good read on this. if this is accurate, what I think it is, 171 players rushed for a touchdown last year. 175 caught a touchdown. I think, per this math, 145 made a field goal in a game. Now, I don't know how accurate this is. If they just stop, if they get to a certain point and say we can't go any further, I would need somebody at ESPN Stats and Info to help me with this to see exactly where this is. Is Greg back with us? I can hear the typing, so he's back.
I'm here. But I don't understand the context. I heard the last part of the segment last second ago. So
that's actually good.
It's harder to kick a field goal?
It's good that you didn't hear the context. That makes it that makes you answering it actually better serving for the show. More difficult to accomplish. Receiving a touchdown or rushing for a touchdown in a game or making a field goal in a game. Context wide open. So don't ask any more questions. Just that's it.
The hardest thing to do in a college football game is, I think, run a touchdown.
More so than catch a touchdown pass.
Yes.
Okay. Now we also
coverages leave guys wide open.
Oh, you can run a bootleg from the 2 and the defense is just non-existent, and all of a sudden you dump it to the tight end.
I mean, as a quarterback, but the way I'm thinking about, like, I think it's hard to break tackles. In my opinion, I think the easiest of the three. Well, I mean, I can tell you this: like, I couldn't kick a field goal, but I could catch a touchdown pass. I could run a touchdown right now for sure.
You don't think you could go make an extra point right now?
I could make an extra point, but I don't think I could kick a field goal in like a live game, like live ops. No, I don't think I could get high enough. If you gave me a week to work on, I could probably figure it out.
No, I think I can make one.
Yeah. You can make one, but I think you'd probably kick it pretty low, just knowing you.
No, you kick the bottom of the ball. It's not hard. Like I told the caller, I do this in the backyard almost every day.
You don't even need a holder.
Much smaller. Hey, and by the way, level of difficulty in our upright, much smaller than a real one. And I'm spinning the ball myself and kicking it.
Yeah.
I don't even use our little holder gizmo that we have.
Yeah.
That he got for Christmas. I don't even use that. No.
How many touchdowns did you score in your career?
None.
Not even in like Little League, Pee Wee, elementary school, high school?
Gotta go back and check the stats.
No, I never scored a touchdown. Like in a sanctioned football game, never scored a touchdown. No, but also never made a field goal or extra point.
My dad didn't either. He played guard his whole career, and he's always like, when I scored like my first touchdown in 3rd grade, my dad's like, I never did that my whole life. I was like, Dad, this is my first year playing. I don't know what's so hard about this.
You did it though.
I mean,
Like it's hard?
Accomplished.
It's like, this ain't hard. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good question actually. Like, it's ridiculous because it's like comparing, American Gladiators to being an accountant. Both are challenging in different ways. Like, it's not really the same. Like, understanding how to be an accountant is a skill that is learned. I think kicking is a skill that is learned. Do I think it's difficult? Sure. But I think pretty much anybody could learn how to be a kicker. Will you be a good one? Probably not. But I don't think pretty much anybody can just run through tackles en route to the end zone.
I'm trying to find the PAT number
to score a touchdown as a receiver.
Right. I'm trying to find the PAT numbers, and I actually think these are going to be much smaller than field goals, believe it or not, as far as PATs made. Because you go 4 pages back, and then the numbers aren't in order. So that's why the NCAA stats page. I mean, I'm at 100 and okay. So there's more that made a PAT. So over 150 made a PAT.
I got it at 192.
Guys, like I said, when I go to page 4, it doesn't keep them. It's 21, 42, 39, and 24 again. So because I can only find that on the total points scored page. So you have over 190 that made a PAT. Yeah. So we are just letting the backups go in and blowouts and say, give it a shot,
Give
Johnny.
It a shot, yeah. Knock
See what you got. What do we learn there, though?
Anybody can kick.
What?
But you can't.
He said it.
I'm just saying, like, you line up a kicker at running back and you get folded like a lawn chair. But my God, if you can put it through the upright.
It's a different
skill.
Kicking is a skill.
Yeah.
Kicking is a skill. Playing football is a talent. Like, I think it's just two different things.
What
I
would
could
we?
walk down to the driving range and find 5 guys that could learn how to kick if you gave them 3 weeks.
How many could block
Assuming
Miles
they're
Garrett
flexible.
45 times in a game, pass rush situations?
I cannot walk
We
down
don't even
the
have
street
pros that can
and
do that.
find-
Exactly.
I can't walk down the street and find guys that can run through contact and route to a 3-yard touchdown.
Well, see, and that was what you missed from the call. I countered that with, I don't know, I might go rushing touchdown because even on the goal line, we need a clean snap. We need a clean handoff. You're probably going to have to break some tackles and find your way into the end zone and hold on to the ball. And his counter was, well, don't you need a clean snap, a clean hold on an extra point? I was, yeah, but the snapper can't be touched.
Right.
I mean, he is
kicking
being
harder
threatened to
and
be
scoring a
yelled at.
touchdown?
Yeah, of course.
No, he's saying the kick was harder.
Yeah, he's high. Like that's ridiculous. Like being a kicker is a hard job. No one's denying that. But it's the easiest job on the football team. Outside of snapper.
Oh, no. I've never seen
So-
snappers yell at kickers. I have seen the opposite.
No, snappers don't yell at kickers, but I mean I think that anyone can learn to be a snapper in about a week. Being good.
I can't wait for Landry
you
to
can
pull this
learn the
audio
skill.
and talk about it
There's a
during
reason
3-minute front
there's
today.
a reason why guys that are coming out for the NFL draft, like I remember this, Corey Reamer and others were like all of a sudden at pro day snapping. I'm like, Corey, you've never stepped a day in your life. He goes, well, it could help me make a team. Like if I have this additional skill, like I'll snap. And he's out there snapping, throwing bullets.
I love
I'm
it.
like, whoa.
Also,
Like,
also
you know
love
what I
that
mean?
like that because I did that too. Like I worked on mine before I worked out we had our pro day at Auburn. I mean, I could get it back there. The accuracy was not going to be super consistent.
Right.
Like an NFL team is going to draft you for your not fully, but in part of your snapping prowess, and you've never done it in a game. And they're going to trust you to go do that. How many injuries we got to get through for that to actually take place in an NFL
Well,
game?
if for whatever reason, God forbid, your snapper got hurt, like having a guy
I'm thinking we're
that
going for
can
it.
do
on
it.
fourth down,
Exactly.
at
That's
that
what I'm
point.
thinking. We're going
No,
for 2.
you're not going for it.
Yeah,
Having
we're-
a guy that can get it back there and snap. Like Corey was throwing darts. He's like, I've been working on it for 3 months. He looked great. I mean, it's like, I remember it vividly because I never thought about that before. You know, I'm like, that's great. What a good idea. You know? And I don't know if he ever snapped when he got in camp with the Jets. I don't know if he did or not, but it's an extra thing. It's one extra thing that you can have in the event. Like it might give you an advantage over the next guy that can't snap to make a team.
John in Mobile, you have about 45 seconds. Welcome into the show.
Cole, just wanted to say thank you for what you said earlier this week about Auburn. I've been in this state since 1979. I had to pick Auburn or Alabama. I chose Auburn, never looked back, and I've been waiting for somebody in the media to say something like what you said about Auburn ever since. Kudos to you. Keep it up. War, damn, Eagle.
Let's go.
War Eagle, John. That's why you wanted me to put that guy on so bad.
You took him.
War Eagle.